Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again. My name is Red Baron, and we're going to be having a Thursday edition of Monday Afternoon Crypto Chat with very special guest XRP or Patty XRP. And thank you very much for joining us. So, a couple of things. I want to take care of a little bit of business here. So, normally we do this on Mondays. This is our text chat. We could discuss things with our special guests. And we're going to be having quite a bit of new stuff that's going to be coming to the channel here. So, make sure if you guys are tuned in today, we're going to have a two for today. Make sure that you join us tonight, like and subscribe, because we got something very special coming up tonight. Our first ever woo-woo guest on the show. That's going to be our trans medium, Veronica Jane. You're definitely going to want to be in for that. So, live in studio with me today, I've got our guest with us today, which is Patty XRP. He is one of our crew over at the unfairadvantage.chat, and we'll be talking about that here in just a little bit. How you doing, Patty?
Doing pretty great. Excited. I think this is the third time I have come on the show. So excited to talk about Songbird Network today, which has to do with the Flare Network. If you guys remember the video I think we did a couple months ago, Red Baron. So we'll kind of be talking about what's going on with Songbird and Flare and what you can expect over the next couple of months.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just kick back and let you do your thing.
All right, cool. Time for me to rant.
All right.
So with that, back in July, I want to say shortly after we did our original video, Flare Network decided that they were going to postpone the launch of the Flare Network due to the fact that they had made several what they called meaningful optimizations to the network. And with that, they decided to follow the route of Polkadot when they implemented Kusama as a canary network. You can kind of think of a canary network basically as if you follow baseball, a farm system. It's kind of like where you figure out, who's the best players. You don't allocate as much money there, but you can find out who's good and bring them up to the big leagues, which is like the Major League Baseball teams or the show. So it's been working really well. If you guys have seen Kusama, I mean, it's multiple billions of dollars in market cap at this point, and it's considered like the secondary network to Polkadot. So they've kind of proven out this model before, and what it allows you to do is, if you just test in a closed environment where you can pull assets from a faucet at will, so there's an unlimited supply, people tend to not act in the way that they would in real life. So this canary network is going to have real life money on it, and it's going to be called Songbird Network. And with that, if you did the Spark claim or you're due to receive Spark tokens from the airdrop snapshot that took place last December, you can receive the Songbird tokens. I already have them in my wallet. And have kind of gotten those set up. So there are a couple different options as far as wallets that you can use with the Songbird token at this time and participate in the ecosystem. Those will be Bifrost Wallet, which is from Toho Labs, who has made a bunch of stuff for the XRP community. Also, we're going to have Decent, which is a hardware wallet that has biometrics on it. They're building out functionality to do the stuff and connect to dApps. And then, of course, everybody's favorite, MetaMask. So they'll be involved there. Those are the three I suggest checking out. We also have a bunch of videos kind of covering getting set up on our YouTube channel at the DeFi Standard with Mickey B. Fresh, who's my partner. So those are kind of some starting things to get going there. But what's going to happen with Songbird now is we're going to start seeing the rollout of all the main components that will eventually be on the Flare network. It's going to happen slowly over the course of the next 2 months while they kind of test out these systems, make sure they're going to work. And then at the end of that period, we'll have Flare launch, which I think I would guess at this point will be second half of November or early December, based on kind of the timeline they posted in their blog. But, there's opportunities to start earning money now. And we're going to see the Songbird token, which has a total supply of 15 billion. There is an inflation of 10% yearly as well. And all of the tokens have been airdropped. About 5.6 billion are going to the Flare Foundation, and those cannot be used to participate in the network or anything like that. And they will be controlled by governance of Spark holders in the future. So that will be via a DAO, and those assets for right now are basically not going to be active circulating supply. They'll be sitting there until the foundation's established and they get going. So that leaves us with about 10 billion tokens out there, a little less than that. There's about 3.75 billion with the Flare Limited Corporation, which is the people that created the network. and their corporation is planning on being participants in utilizing Songbird and Spark when we get to Flare Network within the ecosystem to make money for their investors, which included the likes of, Digital Currency Group, Ripple, Borderless Capital from Algorand, LD Capital. They have Charlie Lee, Do Kwon from Terra, so they have some big names backing that team and what they're going to build in the future. So getting into Songbird, if you guys remember about Flare Network, when we talked about that, they utilize what's called a Federated Byzantine Agreement, which that is a consensus that the XRP ledger utilizes as well as Stellar. But with this version of Federated Byzantine Agreement, they actually took the parts of the Avalanche consensus protocol, which is proof of stake, but they retooled it so it would become Federated Byzantine Agreement. So it adds some of those probabilistic properties that Avalanche has. And as you guys can see, Avalanche is doing pretty well right now, and they just recently launched DeFi, and they have a few billion in total value locked on the network up to this point. So it's going well, and I'll be curious to see how this FDA adaptation of some of their consensus pieces works out. Right now, the block times are running at about 2 to 3 seconds, which I think they'll get sub 1 second once there's enough validators and nodes running on the network. They're kind of slow rolling it with whitelisting people because we're in a period called observation mode until the 27th, which will be on Monday. At that point, full control will be giving over to the validators and the node operators within the network, and it will become decentralized. So first thing is Bitrue exchange, which is famous for having tons of XRP pairings and listings on there related to that. They are going to be offering the first buying and selling trading of the Songbird token, and I don't know what time that is. They haven't announced on Monday. However, we're going to be able to trade Tether and XRP against the Songbird token. Basically, if we go on the total supply and it came out at a penny, that'd be $150 million market cap out the gate. So, I don't know where the supply is going to come out. I would probably say somewhere from, maybe half a cent to 2 or 3 cents maybe for the upside at most. But we'll have to watch. I'm sure it's going to be super volatile in the beginning with all that trading. And I may have to ask you some questions and have you check out that chart, RB.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pull something up right now? I can go ahead and do that. Well,
there's actually nothing trading yet, so it has no market price currently.
Okay.
So that'll be something, definitely we'll keep an eye on Monday going forward. We'll see some future exchange listings that haven't been announced, but those will come out after Bitrue is the first one to go. And so with that, let's say you want to get this Songbird token, what are you going to be able to do with it right now? So since this isn't a proof of stake network, it's Federated Byzantine Agreement. The security of the network does not rely on the native token, which for Songbird network is called the Songbird token, ticker symbol SGB. And with that, that means that it can be utilized for other things. So similar to Ether on Ethereum, since they're both using the Ethereum virtual machine, the native asset, in order for it to interact with all the other tokens and dApps on the network, it'll have to be wrapped in a smart contract, similar to how you wrap ETH to maybe put in a liquidity pool or something like that, or trade for, it could be Uniswap or Chainlink or Aave or something of that nature. And so on Songbird, what you can do when you wrap your token, you have the ability to delegate it to 2 signal providers in the network, and they will be sending price data feeds for a listing of different assets that will include, XRP, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Cardano, Bitcoin Cash, and some others as well. And for that, if these signal providers are in the median 50% of a chosen what they call time series, so that's that XRP to USD pairing or Dogecoin to USD pairing, you will receive some of the inflation of the Songbird token as a reward. So instead of using the native asset to secure the network, because Federated Byzantine Agreement doesn't need that to ensure consensus and stay decentralized, you will be able to help decentralize the on-chain oracle that can be used to bring assets onto the network. So that's the thing that will kind of make what they have is the F-asset system run. And this is their take on interoperability and capital efficiency. Normally with bridges between blockchains, you're going to wrap a token in a smart contract. It sends a signal over to the other blockchain and mints the token. In this instance, the tokens never lock, and you just do, basically you'll send your assets over to what are deemed agents, and you're trusting the system, and you'll have multiple agents that back your position with collateral. They have safeguards in place that we kind of discussed last time, but I don't want to get into that too much. And that's how new money will be brought onto the network, by minting some of these. They're kind of like derivative assets almost, but it's a representation of some asset on another blockchain. And that's what the FTSO is used for. And also we'll see more use cases as more dApps are built, if we see tokenization on the network or any kind of derivative product in the future. And so that kind of runs through the FTSO. It's really easy and cheap. I mean, my fees so far, just for transacting the Songbird token, have been, it's like 3,000ths of of a whole, so like 0.003, and then interacting with the smart contracts have been about like 5 or 6 hundredths, so 0.05 or 0.06 of the Songbird token. So really cheap fees. Everything goes through in a couple of seconds when you send it, so really fast finality as well. The other thing that's coming is there's the first DeFi project that will launch on Flare. Is called Flare Finance, and they have decided that they're going to launch some of their protocols that will be on Flare Finance on the Songbird network, and they're going to call this experimental finance, or XFi. This will include a loan system, one liquidity pool between the Songbird token as well as the stablecoin that will come out of the loan system, and then they'll have 3 farming pools. The cool thing about this is Flare Finance is going to have an airdrop for their secondary governance token 30 days after the launch of Flare Network. And so you're able to actually earn up to your share of $1 million, which is going to be called DFLR, by participating in this XFi platform for the next 63 days. This XFi platform will come out next week, so you could go and provide liquidity and then stake your LP tokens in their farm to earn this DFLR token, which will be swappable onto the Flare network in the future. You can contribute to the stability pool that's in the loan system, which basically guarantees the solvency of the stablecoin and that whole system. And then also there'll be some single token staking pools for the Songbird token, which you could put that asset in there, earn some of the DFLR token, and also there's no risk to that other than trusting the system. Now, I will say it's a canary network, so it's not eventually what the Flare network will look like if they see that they want to adjust some things prior to Flare launch. So I would caution people about maybe look into it more, read about it, make sure you feel good about putting your money on there. I'm not telling you to go put a bunch of money on there right now, but the opportunity's there to earn some money, some tokens that are going to come available on Flare in the future. So I think it's really exciting, and this will kind of roll us into Flare Network launching later in the year in Q4.
Do you see? Let me interrupt here real quick. Do you see of all these tokens you're talking about? So you're talking about Flare Network, you're talking about Songbird. How many of these? You have to kind of remember. Most of our listeners are, I call them Coinbasers kind of thing. They're not into the more deep. How much of this is going to kind of get down to, let's just call it the base exchanges? Do you see Flare Network being something that's going to be available just because it is on something like a Coinbase or a Coinbase Pro and the Songbird? Do you see that stuff, or do you see that kind of being in the more advanced arenas that you just don't get a piece of that?
No, so the Songbird token I think will be harder to get in the beginning, but I mean, Bitrue is honestly pretty accessible for most people, no matter where you live. Mm-hmm. However, when Flare goes live, they have, by the nature of this huge airdrop they did, where over 100 exchanges signed up to participate, including all the big ones, Coinbase, Binance, Kraken.
Right.
I think from what I've heard, we're going to see around 25 to 50 exchanges possibly list the Spark token when it goes live. So
right.
That'll be in Q4. The reason why the Songbird token's not as available right now, it's a canary network, and it wasn't originally part of the plan. But due to the fact that they thought that they made some improvements on the protocol while working through it, compared to what they thought they did, they kind of rolled this out a little later in the game, and I think it's just a lot to ask all those exchanges to also list it. So We
You
will
don't
see Spark heavily traded though in the future on exchanges.
you don't
when
see
that comes
Songbird
out.
being available on to the people that were part of that original December snapshot for XRP. You don't see that being available for people that
Yes.
are on.
So right now we're kind of reaching out to exchanges to see who's going to distribute it. Many have already done it. We're kind of waiting on like Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance. I'd say are the three big ones left that haven't said what they're doing. I know Bitstamp already said they'll be distributing it. And if you were there like on an exchange during the snapshot date, those will start coming to you if your exchange is going to distribute the tokens on the 27th is supposed to be the day those will be coming out.
27th of this month?
Yeah, so Monday.
Okay, so you're basically the way that's going to work for people that are. I'm kind of thinking ahead in the questions that are going to come in after. So the one question I can see is, well, how am I going to know? So presumably you're just going to look and you're just going to say, hey, I have a new wallet position. I have new tokens. They're just there.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what will happen. Unless your exchange reached out to ask for a wallet address to send it to. They'll just have it there in a wallet, and you probably won't be able to use it there, but you can move it off to those wallets I was talking about earlier, whether it be MetaMask and just connect to the Songbird blockchain, or you can use Decent and Bifrost as the other option.
Okay.
And Bifrost is, like I was saying, made by Toho Labs. They also worked with the Flare team to get this one up, so that was like kind of a very Flare specific wallet, but it also lets you connect to Ethereum dApps. It has tons and tons of the ERC20 tokens already on it. It'll have all the Flare tokens and Songbird tokens as well in the future. And they hold NFTs. It will connect to dApps and all that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty nice mobile wallet. The delegation part was super easy. It takes like a couple seconds. You can go to this website called flaremetrics.io, and that'll show you a listing of signal providers. It'll tell you their voting power and different kind of statistics, let you go to their website, see what they're doing. And
Give that to me one more time. I'll put it in the chat. Flare.
Oh, yeah. Flaremetrics.io.
So flaremetrics.io. All right. Okay, it's in the chat.
Yeah. So that will be a great resource. And then also I'll drop the Songbird Block Explorer in there as well. Since I got this pulled up on YouTube. That's a great website where you can kind of track what's going on just like you would on Etherscan and things of that nature. It'll give you what's the average block time currently. Originally when the network launched, it was like 50 seconds, but that's because there was only a few nodes running. And as more have been whitelisted, it's come down to like 3 to 4 seconds, and there's still many more to be added onto the network. I know when they were doing testing a few weeks ago, they put out some videos of what the block times were looking like, and at full board, what I think they're hoping to get to is about a third of a second is how fast the blocks close.
Nice.
So about 333 milliseconds, which would be pretty blazing fast compared to most blockchains.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this is something that, especially with the token coming out low cost, if you want to get involved in the Flare ecosystem in the future, this is a good way to practice. If you've never, gotten into DeFi before and maybe you want to try some lower risk options, those will be available if you get the Songbird token by those staking pools and stuff like that. So, I think it's a good time to practice, try some stuff out, maybe fail, especially if you're going to go with less capital just to do some practice. But it'll give us a good idea of what things will look like on the Flare network. And certainly, I'm just really excited about it since I've been looking into this for so long.
Okay. All right. Well, is that it for today, or have you got a little bit more for us?
I think that'll cover just about everything with Songbird that's going on. Just know things are gonna, slowly be rolling out over the next month, and we'll see more and more information coming out that'll make things clear going into Flare Network launch. And just know that Flare Network, if you're not familiar with it, has a very special connection with the XRP ledger and the XRP community. They basically, instead of doing any token sales, they have decided to distribute all the native asset either via rewards or via an airdrop to XRP holders. That has already kind of taken place, but the tokens will be coming later once the network goes live. So if you believe in XRP, this is definitely something you should look at and consider. You don't have to get in, but I would definitely say look at it. And there'll be some projects coming out that operate on Flare Network and the XRP ledger simultaneously. So this is going to bring more, use case and utility, I believe, to the XRP ledger going into the future. So, as an XRP guy and now a Flare guy, just really exciting to see that all coming together now.
Absolutely, this is gonna be a crazy month. I mean, we're we're all watching for the bottom here. I'm showing on my screen right now. I'm showing this is our automated intelligence system from FibiCharts.com. So, gotta squeeze in a little bit of commercialism here. So, if you guys would like to subscribe to our automated intelligence charts, be a part of our group, you can do that at the unfairadvantage.chat. And of course, obviously, these charts that we're looking at here are the things that we work off, we live and breathe, and stuff off of, and you can do that at FibiCharts.com. And of course, we'd love to have you like and subscribe to the channel. And if that's all for you, we've got some more stuff coming here tonight. We're going to have our Transmedium. It's going to be woo-woo night tonight with our Transmedium, Veronica Jane. She's going to have a new show with us that we're going to be doing on Thursday. So be sure to set your watch for that. And that's going to be going live here. It's 1:30 p.m. right now. Probably in the next 6-7 hours we're going to be on with her, and you definitely do not want to miss that because it's going to be a hell of a show. All right, so for now that ought to do it. So for me and for Patty XRP, that's good for today. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back here in about 6 hours. Until then, check you later.